Well, it has all come down to this. The final game of the USL Championship regular season at MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey, and on ESPN Plus for you. David Goss and Connor Lade with you as the two teams from the Northeast come into the building ready to face off for one last time in 2020. And Connor, when you look at this game, it's simple. For Hartford Athletic, win, they go first in the group, they clinch a home playoff game, everything on the line.
Yeah, it's a massive game for Hartford Athletic. They're treating this like a playoff game. To get top of the group, hosting a playoff game would be massive for them, and they're very excited here tonight.
And this is what you play for. On the flip side for New York, it's a chance for a similar experience. You're playing a team who needs this game more than anything, and a chance for you to experience that energy.
Absolutely. Everyone loves to play spoiler when you don't have much to play for, so I think Rebel 2 is going to give it their all tonight. Obviously, a lot to play for them. Each of these guys personally, they want to show well in the last game of the year, and so they're definitely going to look to play that spoiler role.
One that these two teams have had circled on the schedule for a while, and when you look at Hartford Athletic, the man who will lead the line for them is Alex Dixon.
Yeah, Alex Dixon, very dynamic player for this team. Obviously leads the team in goals. Had a big performance last week, drew the penalty that set them up for the win over Philly, and is a massive player for this team.
So the Bay City, Texas native looking to lead the line once again and get the goal scoring done. On the flip side for New York, it's a young attack, and the man who's been shining over the last few weeks is Jake LaCava.
Yeah, Jake LaCava's come into this team, really made his mark, had some big goals, big performances. Last time we were here, he had a huge performance off the bench against Philly, and he's going to hopefully put in a big shift tonight to make this team successful. Stepping
into the shoes of Caden Clark, who's led this team offensively, and we'll talk about that more as we get into this game. So the final week of the season, the final game, Hartford Athletic, a chance to go first place in the group on the line. We've got it all coming up for you in just a moment here on ESPN Plus.
Go. FIL, go. Go. EPS, go. 15 seconds. Guidance, switch to internal.
Come on, hurry up. All systems go.
5, 4, 3, and lift off.
Audi e-tron, the next frontier of electric.
If you want to start something, or make some noise, if you want to change the world, or just how you see it, if you want to light up the dark, or own the moment, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, or take it right to the edge, there's nothing stopping you.
It's been a while since we shared those last moments at home, and a lot has changed. The world shut down. We found ourselves lost, but we found a way. Our heroes kept us in the game, and our community came together like never before. This beautiful game will continue to provide us the strength to keep moving forward.
The lights are on and the two teams ready to play under the stars at MSU Soccer Park as they take a moment to protest during the national anthem here at MSU Soccer Park, as we've come to see during all the USL Championship games. Beg you to go out and research why and what these players are trying to push for. Let's take a look at the Hartford lineup, and as we expected, as strong a lineup as Raidi Jaidi could put out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got big players in this lineup that have been incredible all year. Look at a guy like Justin Hack, NYCFC product. They're excited to get him games, keep having him mature with this squad, and he's been a big player for them. And then you look at a guy like Barrera, wild goal last week, and really the everything runs through him.
And on the flip side for New York, we talked about a young attack, but you're focused on a 16-year-old at center back in Joey Zielinski.
Yeah, Joey Zielinski has been a pleasant surprise for this RB2 team. The Brick, New Jersey native and Rutgers commit, you know, tough in the tackle. He's made his voice heard in this lineup, and he's had some good performances and gives John confidence to put him in the lineup today and show well for really a defense that has given up more goals than they'd like this year.
And you talk about John Wolenak, head coach. This will be his first year as a head coach. His team doesn't qualify for the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. It's uncharted territory for this RB2 team. I'm sure John would be disappointed when he looks back on this year, but also excited with some of the players that they brought in and give some opportunities to. So definitely a lot to learn, a lot of lessons learned, and they definitely have a book of them after this year.
And on the flip side, you saw Raidi Jaidi taking over a team that was last in the Eastern Conference last year, and they have been one of, if not the best teams this year, and he's done it all. Our head referee, Sean Lyons today, Tyler Rostek and Gino Cho. 2 officials, Kenneth Rojas, our 4th official for this one. It's always been electric when these two teams have matched up over the course of this year. Tight games all the way through, 1-goal differences, so we expect a good one here today. Hartford in their all-white kits, going right to left on your monitors. New York Red Bulls 2 in their home black kits. But for Jaidi, we did their first game because this was a team that didn't play before the COVID-19 layoff. So Jaidi came from Southampton, technically on loan for the year. We still don't know his future. Worked with his guys for a few weeks and then was laid off for 6 months, came back, and has had this team roaring since then.
Yeah, they've been incredible this year, like you mentioned. Obviously, them and Pittsburgh, the cream of the crop in this group, and they can take the cake tonight and finish out the group with the top honors. And like you mentioned, Jaidi has done an incredible job with this team. You know, they didn't have anything on paper really for teams to know about them before COVID, and since the restart, they've hit the ground running and haven't looked back.
It's been a tough schedule for them as well, playing Indy 11 outside of the pod. One of the best teams in the East, although just missing out on the postseason last night. It's been a wild run, and we will get you some updated standings and all that's going on around the USL at halftime. But it's very simple. Hartford, they win, they get first place, they get to host a playoff game next week. Anything less than that, they will still make the postseason, but not as a host. And for a team, as we said, that performed so poorly last year in year 1, that could be a huge moment for the club and the fans as they prepare to take this first corner kick of the night here at MSU Soccer Park. Gus and Connerlade on the call with you. Aiden Macias will take this one in. Headed away by follow play, back in, knockdown in the box. And a wave on there from our head official, Sean Lyons. Well, moment there, Connor.
Yeah, Barrera had a good strike. I think he had a handball complaint there. Not sure, we'd have to see a replay, but good corner, good positioning from him at the top of the box and put in a good shot, but it was blocked.
Hartford flying forward once again early on here. John Tolkien heads that one away, and Omar Sow coming off 5 goals in 2 games last week, getting the start in a little bit of a different position. This time, Connor had been playing at the center forward spot, playing a little deeper here tonight.
Yeah, I think they're, like we mentioned last time we were here, there's a hole to fill with Caden Clark not in the lineup here. You see Kevin Pollitt's go down, the former Red Bull man. But Omar's dropped a little bit deeper tonight. Hopefully they're looking to tap into some of his creativity, maybe make some deep line runs and use his athleticism. But we'll see how he fares in a deeper position tonight.
Take a look at this opportunity right off the bat. The shot coming, looked like off the chest.
Yeah.
Sebastian Elney.
Yeah, Elney. Arm was there, but it looked like it came off the chest. Even if it did hit the arm, not sure they would have given it, but we'll never know.
As we said off the top, New York Red Bulls 2 started USL Championship action in 2015 for their first season. Has not missed the postseason a single year until 2020. Probably not the most bizarre thing that's happened in 2020, but up there.
In the beginning of the year, maybe we would
Yeah.
say differently, but certainly not now.
No. At this point, the only thing that could be weird is if Mars slammed into the face of Earth. But otherwise, I think everything else is pretty much expected. For Hartford, though, it's been a great season for them. Ever Guzman coming in, from San Antonio, brought in to be a big goal scorer, 5 goals this year, but it's really been goals by committee for this team, which is one of the reasons they've been so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I think 14 players on this roster have scored a goal this year. If you look at, 6 goals for Alex Dixon, 5 for Guzman, Torres strong both with 2, but the rest is spread out through the roster, and that's been something that's made them so successful this year.
And for a team that as we've said, hit the ground running coming out of the layoff, they've added Justin Hack, who's now in his 7th start, and Edon Cohen as well, who's in his 13th start at right wing back. So for a team that was figuring themselves out, they played well, and then they've added pieces as the season's gone along.
Yeah, they've got to be excited with the additions that they've added. Obviously, we mentioned Hack a couple minutes ago, but the MLS now at NYCFC is a big addition for this team. Will bring a lot of quality into that midfield, and I'm sure these attacking players are very excited to see him behind them as well.
Scored 1 goal in his Hartford career against New York Red Bulls too. So done well for the NYCFC.
The rivalry continues even when they're not playing, right?
At all times, and this is one of the fun things about as the USL Championship grows. You talk about rivalries. For Hartford to come in and have a New York team to play, and potentially teams in Providence and Maine and New Hampshire coming up as well, whatever level of USL they'll be in. As teams get added, you get these great rivalries, and I can tell you this is the most away fans we've had, although technically no fans in the stands. There are a lot of Connecticut license plates in the parking lot.
100%. I think we saw on social media, I don't know if they have a little pizza contest going on right now with the Rampage, and I think that parking garage will be rocking tonight.
The parking garage, always the source of the party. As Fala steps forward and heads that one up the line. And Torre able to win the throw-in for his side. Torre just 16 years old. 3 goals this season, stepping in as one of the many academy players to get the bulk of minutes for this New York Red Bull 2 team. One of the academy players on loan with this group today. Kenny Hott getting the start in central midfield. Has played off the bench over the last few weeks, getting the return to that spot. And that's a big role for him, where Chris Lemo really was the starter.
100%. Yeah, that's big shoes to fill there for Kenny Hott, but another player that they're very excited about from the academy. Has shown well when he's played, had a great assist to Torre, who we mentioned just before in the Atlanta game. Got a good nose for, two-way midfielder, has a nose for goal going forward, and puts his teammates in good opportunities. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he does tonight. Obviously, you mentioned Chris Lemo's all-time appearance, I think minutes. You could go on, that's the records that he has for
Mr.
this club.
Red Bull too.
Yeah, exactly. So he will be missed here, but a great opportunity for Hott.
So Lema quarantining right now, getting ready to play some games with New York Red Bulls. Omar So trying to find an opening. It'll mean a lot more responsibility on everyone else's shoulders, as Lemo is one of the few experienced players. Great news for New York Red Bulls too, though, in having their captain Sebastian Elney back after he missed about 6 or 7 weeks with that injury coming in the Loudoun United game. So big chance for him to take some of the load off offensively for these young guys.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to bring a big voice for this offensive group that really in his absence, you've seen a lot of big performances from some of these players. So I think he was been itching to get back on this field here. He's seeing a lot of goals flying forward, and he wants to get in on the fun. So you can see him here getting involved early.
Elney charging in, gets a chance to shoot, deflected, and a big save early on there from Mandanda Parfait. Excuse me, Parfait Mandanda. And now LaCava with the shot, Hott. And a chance here for Hartford to get on the brink. Dixon with the through ball for Guzman, and Fala gets there just ahead of the attacker.
Quite the sequence of events there, and I think we have more in store here, but great opportunity there from Elney. Did so well to draw on the defender, put it on his terms, put in a good shot, and what a save from Mandanda off the deflection.
Parfait Mandanda, his first year in the United States. Veteran goalkeeper out of France. Played last year, the last few years in Romania, had an assist in the first game after COVID-19 against this New York Red Bull 2 team, which you don't see every day.
We are very, very familiar with Mr. Mandanda there, and I think this entire back line is going to have their senses perked up when he has that ball in his hands, because they haven't forgotten what he did in the opener for Hartford.
And here's the save Mandanda made to open things up here. First big chance of the game. A little deflection, it looked like.
Yeah, took a little deflection. Mandanda, that's very difficult for a goalkeeper coming across, has to react to that, and he did so well to parry it wide.
So we've seen some signs of life from both sides as the drums come alive behind Mandanda's goal. The fans that are technically not there.
I think they were wise to move down to the second deck. The acoustics might help the drums down there.
I do actually believe that that is where the Montclair State Orchestra has been practicing outside due to COVID-19 restrictions on that exact level. So if it's good enough for the orchestra, it's got to be good enough for the supporters.
Go figure. You could have, it sounds like a drum line up there right now.
If Nick Cannon walks in, I'm done. Or Petey Papa, I'm leaving. Politz with a slow pass, saved by Cohen. Luca Lewis off his line and now called into action. So the two goalkeepers getting involved as the 19-year-old Luca Lewis, who joined just 10 days ago to the roster and has been a big revelation for this New York Red Bull 2 side.
For sure. Yeah, Luca Lewis is young goalkeeping prospect that they're very excited about. Obviously signed and is right into the lineup the past 3 games. And good little look there, but he's very excited to be with the club. The club's very excited to have him here. Obviously, it's been a wild stretch of games with some of the goals, but I think he's put in some good performances nonetheless.
Torrey trying to battle, and now Strong gets it under possession. And it'll be a Hartford throw-in. Fans, don't forget, if you're on the road and you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, and Rodney Marsh. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League. Sirius XM FC channel 157 on your Sirius XM radio and Sirius XM app. Free kick coming here. It'll be Tyreek Johnson to play this one in. The left wing back on loan from Southampton has been one of the revelations of the season. He'll place this one in on his left foot. It drops in the box. The black jersey went down to the ground. No call made, and now a chance for Johnson to reset the attack. Stings one in onto the feet of Strong. Hack goes down once again. A battle for the ball. Elney goes down as well. And a foul will go in New York's favor.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, Johnson, such a good player for this team, and he's made that left side really his own this entire year. First game out against Red Bull 2 early on in the year, he was so active, probably arguably man of the match for us. And if New York wants any success tonight, they're going to have a big job with Bo Cummins trying to shut him down on that left side.
And one of the keys for this Hartford team this season, their turnaround, has been the solidity of the back five. But it only works if you can get the attack from the wingbacks to generate chances as well. And the wingbacks, mainly Tyreek Johnson, have been huge for this team.
100%. It's whenever you're playing that back five, you get those attacking outside backs, and a lot of the production comes from them, and he's been incredible this year. I think, yeah, as you can see, it's what a fun position for an outside back to play. You just have the license to go forward, and you've seen that here tonight.
Ball played in. Fala knocks it away. I can confirm Connor currently drooling, thinking about playing wing back instead of fullback under a coach.
100%. What a fun position to play.
That one flicked up and knocked out of play for this Hartford team. Some more threat in the attack today as the 18-year-old Alfonso Vasquez, who deputized at center forward in place of Ever Guzman midweek, is back to the bench. So the veteran Mexican forward takes his spot up top alongside Dixon. And it's interesting in the open, we're talking about Hack and Barrera, the two ends of the spectrum, a 32-year-old and a 19-year-old. And that's one of the beautiful things about the USL Championship. So many different elements to each team. When can you patch it all together to get the highest results?
100%. Yeah, you look at the makeup of some of the rosters throughout the league. It's, you see a success with every single one of them, and there's not one right way to do it, which is the beauty of this league.
Cohen getting ready to serve it in. 1v1 with Tolkien. Trying to get to his right foot, and Tolkien blocks the cross. And it'll be another corner kick coming here for the away side.
Hartford looks like they're settling into this one. Red Bull got a good chance early, but they've had the better of the play in the past couple minutes. You see them growing more and more into this game.
So it'll be Barrera to take this one. The captain. Second in the league in assists in the USL Championship. Knocked away by Lewis, only as far as Dixon. The volley goes just wide. Dangerous moments there for New York as there was no one out to close on the top of the box.
Yeah, a little concerning. You've had two chances there for New York. I think they gonna have to have a couple guys step out a little bit more so they're not those free looks on top of the box, especially when Lewis had that punch that dribbled right out to one of the guys that you'd be terrified when it does drop to him, Alex Dixon.
LaCava looking to turn, gets it to Elney. Elney with white shirts around him. His shot sneaks through and goes just wide.
Good look there from Elney. Gets it on his left foot. You can see here, cuts it back to left foot, gets a little bit of room through the defender's legs and just goes just a bit wide, closer than initially thought, but Mandanda looked like he had it covered.
So good end-to-end start here. MSU Soccer Park. So New York Red Bulls 2 and the Hartford Athletic. The final regular season game of 2020 USL Championship action. An unconventional year, a year we hope we'll never have to repeat. The USL able to get the season played through. The playoffs are ready to start. The final of the USL Championship for the first time ever will be on ESPN coming up, and all the games, of course, throughout the playoffs will be available to you on the ESPN family of networks. Some great matchups lined up as with this pod play, we didn't get to see some of the matchups we wanted over the course of the season. How will Charleston do when they move out of their pod? And, of course, Louisville flying high once again at the close of the season. They always know when it's championship time. It gets cold, Louisville turns it on. So it's going to be awesome coming up over the next few weeks as LaCava sneaks by a defender, gets to the end line, pulls it back, and knocked away by Politz.
Great play there by LaCava. You can see that's one of the big parts of his game is just his aggression, his power. I think that's one thing that John's talked about throughout the year is how pleasantly surprised he is with his athleticism, and it just really sets him apart from a lot of these young players on this Red Bull 2 team.
Boontang can't take that one down. And an offside flag will go up. And the thing you see with LaCava is two-footed. So he has that athleticism, but you can't shy him one way and say, well, it'll give me time to catch up as he cuts back, because we saw in the last game here at MSU Soccer Park, scored with both feet. And that makes him a next level of dangerous.
100%. Yeah, you could play him at a variety of positions throughout this midfield, even at forward. And so that's for a young player to really show the maturity. Really, you look at that goal he had against Philly where, a lot of players would just shoot it, block, shoot again, block, shoot again. He was composed. He moved it to his left foot and just slotted it. And so you can tell there's a lot to his game that really is still growing, but what is there right now is very excited for this Red Bull 2 team.
LaCava plays it quickly there off the turnover. As Hack gonna Harry Boontang, and then Hot turns it over. Kenny Hot getting back-to-back starts in midfield alongside Samad Boontang, who had started the year at fullback but has now found his way to what was his more natural central midfield position. Hartford now rotates it along their back line. Strong looking to put it into space from Macias to Chase. Barrera's layoff can't find a teammate. Now New York's trying to go quickly back the other way. Torre looking for Elney, and Politz reads that one beautifully, and now Cohen starts the attack. He's got an option in Guzman and puts it just behind his striker.
Great opportunity there. Really or started off by Kevin Politz with a great defensive step in transition, really extinguished that attack from New York and sets up his team so well. Cohen just played that ball behind Guzman, but if he was able to find him, he was 1v1 on goal.
Kenny Hott there with the chip in the middle of the field. It's a little sauce for you.
Love it.
Confidence.
Love it from the Jersey guy. I think there's no shortage of confidence in this Red Bull 2 team and these young guys. You know, I think they're showing what they can do, and especially in a game like this, it's huge. It's the last really showing you'll have of the year. Who knows what this offseason is going to bring for this team, but the experiences that they're gaining here is huge. And so each one of these players is thinking, I want to show my best in this final game against a very good team that they're playing in Hartford. And what a moment for them to have yet another great learning experience.
And so often those final moments will resonate. Maybe in a conversation of where a player's future lies, as Dixon now is off to the races. He gets pulled down. Sean Lyons right on top of that one, and he doesn't even make a motion as we play on.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that one?
Alex Dixon had the step on Fala, but Fala, he's got that sneaky fast recovery speed, and you could tell he didn't really make the situation worse. He just ran with him. He knew he could catch him. Even it's a tall task running after Alex Dixon, but we'll have to see the replay on it. But referee was confident that there wasn't a foul committed.
Elney now flying the other way. He's got some black jerseys with him, trying to get to his right foot. Gets it across. LaCava gets on top of it, and he can't get enough power through it to get it on frame.
What an attack for Red Bull there. You thought it might have died out a little bit when Elney got wide there, but did so well to really put it back into a dangerous position. Here you can see the replay. Didn't see a whole lot there. I think it was the right decision from the referee. Fala just ran with him, and you can see Elney taking it a little bit wide. Does well to wrap his foot around this ball, get it to LaCava, and LaCava just pulls it wide.
You see the goal-scoring instincts from LaCava. Pops up, doesn't matter. He's going to hit it as soon as he can on the volley. So end-to-end action here at MSU Soccer Park. These two teams know what's at stake. They have come out to play. As Mandanda will blast this one long. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Battle in midfield. Zielinski stepping forward. Johnson brings it down finally. Hack works it through midfield. Johnson trying to get by Cummins. And Connor, historically, you'd say the chaos, the energy of this game is a Red Bull 2 game, but it hasn't been in 2020, and this may feed actually into the quality in transition for Hartford.
Yeah, absolutely. Red Bull's always been comfortable in chaos. They in the past have thrived in it. And, yeah, this year's been a little bit different, and you have a very experienced team like Hartford who's going to want to slow the game down a little bit, make it more comfortable for them. But in transition, they're going to hurt you if you make these individual mistakes that we've seen this young Red Bull 2 team make this year. And I think that's going to be a big talking point for the team is just have a solid performance defensively above all tonight. I think a clean sheet, what a better way to end the season for this group. And you're going to be challenged all night by this dynamic Hartford attack. So it's going to be an interesting game, and already we've seen some early fireworks.
Edon Cohen called for the foul there in transition. Told the referee, Ma pintom. That's Hebrew for what did I do? What happened? You didn't know you were going to get that on this broadcast.
I'm learning lessons on
it.
That's why I love doing this with you.
I was very excited. My guy Edon. Free kick coming, Omar So, and Kenny Hott standing over this one. You have to think it's be Hott floating it in with the left footer. So shooting with the right. Two-man wall. So does clip it in. Knocked down by Strong. Space here for Hott. Gets it down the line here for So. Trying to get a crossaway, pulled back on the ground, and then cleared into the night by Sam Strong.
Good play there by Strong. Nice, powerful committed clearance there and relieves the danger, but here's Omar Sow back at it.
So goes by 4 defenders, cuts back, and Politz finally makes the tackle. That is what Omar Sow is capable of. Coming off that injury, he's gotten sharper and sharper in this season, and right now playing at his peak.
Yeah, you can just see the fancy footwork there from Omar Sow. He's uses his power, really almost guts by every single defender in his way, but a good play there to stop that attack.
It'll be Hot to curl this one in. Hot, right on the top of the 6. It goes straight up in the air. So wins the second header. Mandanda hesitated, looked like he was going to come out, and finally cleared by Barrera. Cummins trying to keep it alive for New York. La Cava surrounded by white shirts. These two teams play a little soccer tennis here. And finally Barrera gets it long. A beautiful ball for Guzman on the run. And Fala and Zielinski recover.
What a ball. I mean, Guzman was gone. Zielinski did so well. Caught up a little bit in the turf and is, I'm sure much to his pleasure, he caught up. He was able to disperse of the attack, but dangerous moments here for Hartford.
My mind is still blown that was a clearance from Danny Barrera that put it on a dime for Guzman to run onto.
I mean, I'm not sure we're too surprised with what Danny Barrera can do at this point. If last week was any indication with that scorpion kick goal against Philly.
Cal FC alumni, part of that group, has had a phenomenal USL Championship career, but found a home last year for Hartford, one of the few mainstays who came along for the ride this year up in Connecticut. He's enjoyed life in the Nutmeg State. That's something I learned recently. I didn't know that.
I mean,
grew up on Long Island my whole life, didn't know anything about Connecticut.
I need my notepad here because you're teaching me all sorts of stuff tonight.
Fun facts. The final game of the season is
Nutmeg State.
Cohen flies forward. Now Hot, a chance to look up. Elney holding up the ball for New York to push forward. And that's the one thing no other forward on this roster does for New York.
100%. Yeah, I think that's something that's been missed, is really that link-up play. When you look at the other forwards on this team, they're always looking to run behind, which is great. And a big part of why they've had success in the attack this year is that those aggressive runs and getting behind defenses. But there is something to say about a forward that can hold the ball up, like Elney can, bring new guys into the game, and really it helps sustain attacks.
Elney in his second year out of the University of Maryland, won a national championship. Didn't expect to go to college originally. Had spent a lot of time on trials in Europe. Eventually ended up at Maryland. Not a bad program to be a part of. Program that just churns out national team players. As Torre just slips by Barrera. Now So with some space, drives it. Mandanda slips, and he's able to recover.
Wow, that play really came out of nothing. Torre really got away with a long touch there, was able to wiggle by the defender, put it across the So confidently gets on that left foot and steps up to it, hits it low. Mandanda was lucky that parry didn't get too far away from him because Elney was ready for whatever rebound was coming out there.
Dixon coming back now. Up with Macias. It's fun to watch this Hartford team knock it around the midfield. A lot of players comfortable under pressure, comfortable on the ball.
Absolutely, yeah. It's two different principles. You look at a guy like Justin Hack who's so comfortable on the ball and really makes it look effortless. You get Danny Barrera on there. It's a great partnership they've formed in this midfield, and very exciting team to watch because they can hurt you in multiple ways.
Hayden Macias getting the start in that midfield. On loan from QPR. More of that English connection. Southampton creating a official connection with the Hartford Athletic. That's why Shahidi is here, and Tyreek Johnson as well. Southampton players on loan last year, and we expect to see more coming down the road. Not a bad club to be connected with. It's only the team that produced, I think, Gareth Bale, and you can go through the list, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and whoever else. So I think it's considered by many the best academy in England, although maybe that's changing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've already seen the fruits of this partnership, like you mentioned with Jaidi and Johnson, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more players coming through for this club, but a very great connection.
Tolkien with the shot, deflected. It'll go out for a corner kick. So we saw Hartford get control of this game for a solid 5-10 minutes. Now it's been New York's turn.
Yeah, the tide looks like it's changed a little bit, and I think this is going to be a big moment for Red Bull 2 here. You know, when you get a little bit more comfortable in the attack and you're pushing, what is that defense looking like? You know, they talk a lot about rest defense being organized behind the ball, and that's going to be key here, especially when you gain a little bit more confidence. You don't want to be drawn into that. You want to be comfortable with what you have behind it, but really being aggressive to go forward.
So Hot will serve this one in. Driven to the top of the box, headed away. Initially by Johnson, now by Dixon as Hack clears it up into the path of Barrera. Barrera can't get it under control. And I think of that rest defense. You've got Joey Zielinski, who's 16 years old, and Joe Falla, who's a rookie out of college who played center forward and scored 67 goals at center back. And then you've got Ever Guzman out of the Morelia Academy, who's 31, and Alex Dixon, a 30-year-old who's leading the team in scoring. It could not be a bigger difference in that matchup between center forwards and center backs.
Oh, it's a clash of really everything. I think, you know, age, experience, but it's a great test for this young back line. I think that they're going to look to a guy like John Tolkien tonight to be a big leader and a big voice in organizing this defense. And
Boonton clipping that one into the hands of Mandanda.
And what an opportunity for them to continually mature, grow, and show that, you know, we can learn from a lot of the mistakes that we've had this year and put in a good performance that this coaching staff will keep in their head all offseason, really.
Falla, an All-American, Division III with Ramapo College, scoring, as I said, 67 goals over the course of his career. 29 his junior year. Came to an open tryout, played left back. I think John Wolenek said some of the coaches thought he had some issues at left back, then found out he never played the position before. We're like, oh, maybe he's good at soccer.
Yeah, listen, I tip my hat to Joe Falla this year. You know, he's a forward coming in, learning a new system like Red Bull, which is a very complicated system to learn especially for young players who are playing a brand new position altogether. So it's something that, you know, is he a finished product at center back? Certainly not. Has he made mistakes? Yeah. But, you know, from what we have seen, I think he's got a lot of great attributes that can make him successful in that position. And it's excited to see where he's going to go from here.
You see the fans over there behind Parfait Mandanda's goal. And, of course, you at home can be a part of the conversation and watch the drama unfold live when the USL Championship playoffs begin October 9th. Catch every match, every goal, every save, and every celebration on ESPN Plus on the way to the USL Championship Final, November 1st at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. And of course, hydration break coming here with this shortened season, and things have been so hard. It's keeping the players safe. But you mentioned Falla, and of course, famously for New York Red Bulls too, Aaron Long, a central midfielder, coming and learning the center back position. Probably a more natural change than center forward to center back, but we've seen it in the world of soccer. And I think you've seen from Falla, you mentioned the recovery speed, moves well. Sort of unnatural for a center back because of his time at center forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think playing forward, he knows what forwards, you know, their tendencies and things like that. So maybe that can bring a whole different dynamic to the back line. But I think the one thing this year that's been really tough for this team is there hasn't been a lot of continuity on that back line. There's been a lot of pieces that have been in and out due to injury, restrictions, whatever. So it's been tough for them to have a cohesive unit. And when you look at a team like Hartford, who's had a cohesive unit the entire year, you can see they've been tough to break down. And so that's one issue that's plagued Red Bull 2 this year, is just not having that starting back line that, you know, every game you're just penciling in. So it's been tough, and I think that's spread through the team. So, you know, definitely a big challenge when you look back on it. And obviously, if 2020 hasn't thrown enough challenges our way, it's just one more to add to the list.
And, of course, Roy Boateng, who was supposed to be the central piece of this defense, not getting an opportunity to play because of injuries over the last few weeks. Preston Kilwine out hurt, and as you mentioned, expectations, I think, that Sean Nealis would have gotten minutes with this team and has been with the MLS side the entire season and not able to play with New York Red Bulls too. So a lack of experience and at times leadership in that back, and Joey Zielinski, a player that had been transitioned from USL back to the academy because it didn't look like he was going to break through. Kilwine gets hurt, Boateng gets hurt, and then he steps in, and the team beats Philadelphia 6-1, and he stays in the lineup.
Yeah, I think that's something that this year you wouldn't had that second chance maybe for a Joey Zielinski. Maybe you go down and you play the rest of the year with the academy and you come up for trainings and maybe make a bench or two. But, you know, that's the beauty and silver lining that we've had this year is these opportunities given to these young players to really sink or swim. And I think sometimes, you know, you don't get it all right on the first go-around, and it takes a little time for you to adjust to this league. And, you know, I think on the outside looking in, yeah, you might be like, oh, I see some other academy guys come in, have done it. It may be easy, you know. Not that they're that they have said that, but it looks easier from the outside. And you get in here, you're playing against grown men here, and it's a big learning curve for these young players. And like I said, you don't always get it right on the first time, but the more they're exposed to it and they can play in these games, it's going to be huge for their development.
Elney in a battle. It looks like Politz took a piece out of Elney. And a free kick coming for New York. Talk about second chances. A guy like Kevin Politz, a huge year, his rookie year for New York Red Bulls too. Didn't see a future. Went down to Greenville, played in League One, won Defender of the Year, and then got a chance to link up with Hartford, and he's been just as good in the USL Championship. So a resurgence for him in his young career. It's been great to see, and I'm sure he's happy to be back in the New Jersey area for this game. Free kick coming. Tolkien strikes it. It lands on Lacava's chest. Hack knocks it away, and it'll be a corner kick coming.
Good ball whipped in there from Tolkien with the left-footed service. Found the chest of Lacava. Yeah, Lacava just couldn't get that second touch on frame. Good defensive play, but New York's been threatening, and they get another corner here.
Can New York make one of these count? It'll be Tolkien this time. It's been hot on the corner kick service the last two for New York. What can Tolkien do with his dangerous left foot? Smiling as he serves it in. Played into the 6. Knocked away by Strong. Barrera looking to launch the counter. Cut out by Hott. Kenny Hott now closed down along the line. And he'll earn a throw in for his side. New York, a team you often see some creative ideas on set pieces. Now 4 or 5 corner kicks, they've all kind of gone the exact same way.
Yeah, you might see them mix it up a little bit here, but I think whenever you have a guy like Joe Fall in the box, you can't help but let's just stick it in there and see what he can do.
6'7". Always a decent target to have. Of course, the size of Omar Sow as well. You see the speed of Dixon. Cummins able to stay with him, but Dixon switches the feel into the path of Cohen. Guzman takes the long touch back, and now Hartford can begin a nice spell of possession here. O'Hara couldn't get a foot on that one. So into the path of Torre. Torre looking for the early ball. And that's a couple times now you've seen Torre struggle with his decision-making in transition.
Yeah, I think that's been something we talked with John all year about a guy like Torre. Is the decision-making. You know, he's got the attributes to be successful. He's got the speed. He's got creative ideas. I think it's just putting all the pieces together with him. And you look, it was a good idea to play that ball to Jake Lacava, who's darting through just a little bit too much. Maybe the way he's hitting the ball wasn't correct, but he's by far not a finished product, but all the attributes that he does have makes everyone with the club very, very excited. And, you know, listen, he's 15, 16 years old, and, you know, to be playing in games like this, getting these opportunities to show himself and really fine-tune his game, it's an exciting prospect for him.
Antuma Torre, originally from Guinea. Grew up in Trenton, New Jersey. 3 goals this year as a 16-year-old, and so I think something any 16-year-old will take, as you said, and has shown his promise. One of the players that's been around this Red Bull club for a while. And you've heard his name for a while, and goes by the nickname Yaya, so it's kind of a fun one for a lot of people to talk about.
Yeah. Big
crunching tackle there. It looks like we're going to have our first card of the game.
Yeah, big tackle there from Lara on Elney. He'll get the yellow. He has some complaints about it, but Elney's feeling the effects of it.
So the rookie out of Cal State Northridge, will get our first card of the game. Elney's taken a couple hits early on in this one.
Yeah, Elney's coming back into it. I think he's been, like you mentioned, off a little while, forgetting what it's like to be that center forward with your back to goal, taking these hits. But I think he'd rather be in this game taking hits and getting opportunities on goal rather than being off.
Hot serves this one in. Knocked away before it could get to Fala. So trying to bring it down. Lakava to the feet of Boontang. Boontang closed down by Macias. Somehow gets it to Lakava's feet. Dancing on the top of the box. And pushes it out. And will easily land at the feet of Mandanda.
Great work there from Boontang. It looked like when he picked his head up there before he cut it back, he was going to play maybe a dangerous ball there, but saw the danger, cut it back, and did so well to find Lakava there. Just unfortunate not to have a finished product.
Mandanda, part of the rebuild this year that has gone so well for Hartford, out of the Bordeaux Academy originally. As I mentioned, has spent the last 2 years with Dynamo Bucharest, was in Belgium for a while, over 80 appearances in the Belgian First Division, and Turkey a little bit before that, has played with DR Congo's national team. His brother Steven Mandanda, of course, a World Cup winner with the French national team. As So gets a shot away and always rising up over the goal. What have you thought the first 40 minutes of seeing So in that number 10 position rather than higher up the field?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting watching him play there. Obviously, like I mentioned before, having him get on the ball and run at people is one of his strengths. So I think when he has time and space to do so, you can see there he gets some opportunities. Where his best position is, I still think that's that wide player, the dynamic, getting behind, even up top. But I think just adding one more position to that resume is going to be great for a young player like Omar So. And clearly, I think if he gets a couple of these opportunities on frame, he can do wonders with them.
Boontang trying to close that one down. Cohen recovers possession. Macias now in transition. Sprays it wide for Barrera, but easy for Cummins to take it over. And now the Red Bull Academy right back up the line for Torre. That one's closed down by Lara. These two teams going punch for punch so far. We haven't seen goals. These two teams not playing it safe on any level in this game. If you weren't with us at the start, for Hartford, final game of the regular season, a win, and they will host the playoff game next week for the start of the postseason. Their first ever appearance in club history. A tie or a loss means they will be going on the road to open up postseason play and most likely stay there for whatever postseason run they would have. So the only thing that matters for that man and his team is 3 points here tonight. They don't care what it looks like.
No, absolutely not. Obviously, in a perfect world, they'd play a great performance. And but like you mentioned, it doesn't matter how they get 3 points. But getting a home game in the playoffs, it's really invaluable. To be able to host a couple games, it would be incredible for this club, who it'll be their first opportunity to do so in the playoffs. And so it's an exciting prospect for them, and they're going to be going after it tonight.
Quickly thrown in for some space. We get a cross away. It's knocked away by Zielinski.
You can hear these fans want to host the home game too.
Dillon Stadium. Took a little while last year to get it open, but Hartford put on a show at least to open up the stadium, and they were hoping to do so this year as this cross comes in. Ball going out of bounds first. They have had some fans in their stadium, but of course, no one at full capacity yet anywhere. I think maybe except for New Zealand. They host rugby games and stuff because, if you're a country on an island, I guess it's easier for you.
Close the doors a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, I don't know, you see some of these NFL games, it might as well be a full stadium.
True. That is very true. Lakava here in space. 1v1 with Strong. Gets his left foot. Pulls it back. Alive in the box as bodies go to the ground. Claims for handball from New York. No call made. And then Tolkien's cross is blocked.
Great opportunity here from New York. LaCava does so well to put this on his terms. You know exactly what he wants to do. He wants to run at the defender. He's going to touch it by him to his left. Really does well to out-battle him, get the strength, and just Elney, it falls on it. Was it a hand there? Maybe.
It was Pollitt that went down. I don't think there was a foul in the contact. The question is, while falling, did his right arm touch the ball? But it won't matter as we restart play. Tolkien serves this one to the far post. Follow with the header. Knocked down right in front of him. And the flag goes up.
Oh, what an opportunity there. Joe Fala shakes his man loose, has a free header, and I believe that hit the head of Torre.
Yeah, it looked like it hit a teammate.
Pretty sure Torre was just in the way of that. I think he actually got called offside for it. Does so well to be strong, shake off Lara, get free. Yep, it's Torre right in the face.
And I think Torre in an offside position, so that was the final call. You could see Fala's eyes get big. He's been waiting for one to attack on the far post. Finally, Tolkien with that service to allow him to run onto.
Yeah, great whip ball in there from Tolkien. Just puts it right on his head.
So we'll have a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time here to this first half. End-to-end action between these two teams. We've seen Hartford dominate for stretches. We've seen New York dominate for stretches. But I'd say for the most part, it's been transition. It's been hectic, but it's been exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something new and different, seeing 0-0 in 45 minutes. And I think a team like Hartford, I know they've got a very good record. I'm not even sure they have a defeat after going up a goal. It would be interesting to see, but I know that when they score goals, I think they have 8 wins. And so very dangerous team. You know, when they get that first goal, they're holding on to it because they're very tough to break down defensively. And, you know, when you're pushing, they're going to be pushing. They're going to get a couple more. So it's going to be big for this Red Bull 2 team to grab a early goal if they're going to want to get a win here. Sorry, not an early goal, but a goal nonetheless. Maybe an early second half goal.
And you have to think for Coach Jaidi, he'll be happy with what he's seen from his team. They've shown when they're in possession, they can create chances. And as we said, for them, this isn't a building block. They're not trying to learn anything. They're just trying to get 3 points and get home.
Right, yeah. Get out of this game, 3 points.
No injuries, no suspensions.
Exactly. That's, yeah, I think they'll be holding their breath to get out of this unscathed and with 3 points.
Hot. Closed down by Dixon, able to get away from him. Now So lays it down the line for Torre. 1v1 with Cohen. Torre's cross is blocked by Cohen and out for a corner kick.
Good defensive play there from Cohen, and I like the aggressiveness from Torre to really put his head down, touch it, pass, and try to whip in a good ball there, but Cohen was up to the task.
So it'll be Tolkien once again. It was his service to Fala just moments ago for the big opportunity for New York. Can he do it again? Driven to the far post, this one headed by Boontong, but in the wrong direction. Hack then plays it back into Tolkien, oddly enough, and then finally cleared by Hartford, and a mistake from Zielinski. Guzman looking for Dixon. Dixon now's got options to his right. Goes wide for Barrera. And Omar Sow with the slide doesn't do enough. Barrera back on the ball, serves it to the far post, and Lewis takes it down.
I love that effort from Omar Sow there. You know, you've seen this time and time again with this team. It's a little mistake, especially in the back, that can hurt you. And Joey Zielinski got caught there, making an errant pass. Alex Dixon took it off him, but just to see Omar Sow from that number 10 role up the field really come back and be so committed.
LaCava here making a run the other way, and Politz pushes it out for a corner kick. No stoppages in this game.
No.
And now what we expect would be the final kick of this first half. Can New York break through and take a lead into halftime? It's been, as you said, the little mistakes and big moments like this that have hurt New York this year. And this young side show what they've learned over the course of this season. It'll be the MLS homegrown player, John Tolkien, to serve it. Into the box. Mandanda comes out to punch. Dixon knocks it down, and Barrera will just bash that one over the halfway line to bring our first half to a close. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting Hartford Athletic in a must-win game for Hartford to close out the 2020 USL Championship regular season. And the score line not indicative of the action we've seen. A phenomenal first half of soccer between these two sides. Up-tempo, chances both ways. Chaos as well, as we love to see at MSU Soccer Park. A lot for that man, John Wolenek and Jaidi, to digest here at halftime. Some fans have snuck their way in, and you see the banners up as they want to win. A chance to see their team at home for the first time in club history in the postseason. Will Hartford get it done in the next 45 minutes? We've got it all coming up for you in just a moment here on ESPN+.
Was all-wheel drive engaged on that? Didn't feel like it.
Quattro all-wheel drive. There's nothing like it in the universe.
If you want to start something, or make some noise, if you want to change the world, or just how you see it, if you want to light up the dark, or own the moment, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, or take it right to the edge, there's nothing stopping you.
It's been a while since we shared those last moments at home, and a lot has changed. The world shut down. We found ourselves lost, but we found a way. Our heroes kept us in the game, and our community came together like never before. This beautiful game will continue to provide us the strength to keep moving forward.
You spent the past few months taking extra precautions to keep safe. Thank you for that. Now it's time to remember that staying healthy is part of staying safe. At Hackensack Meridian Health, we've taken safety, cleanliness, and screening to new levels of excellence, giving you the peace of mind to return for necessary surgery, emergency treatment, pediatric care, as well as heart and cancer screenings. Our healthcare heroes are ready to care for you.
The lights are on a gorgeous fall evening in northern New Jersey at MSU Soccer Park for the final game of the 2020 USL Championship regular season. David Goss and Connor Lade with you here on ESPN+. And Connor, we came into this game talking about two players, and they've been the bright spots in the attack. For Hartford, it's been Alex Dixon, especially in transition.
Absolutely. Player with his quality, his speed, you know they're going to be looking to find transition moments with him. You can see he's had a lot of the dangerous moments for this Hartford side. Had an appeal for a penalty early. That wasn't necessarily a penalty. You can see it here. I think the first touch he took was really good to get inside a follow, but just couldn't actually get the step on him to merely get his body in front of him to draw that foul, and kind of wasn't able to slip it to Guzman either.
On the flip side, Jake LaCava, we said he'd have to carry some attack in the absence of Caden Clark, and he's done everything you wanted.
Absolutely, yeah.
Except score.
Jake LaCava's been great tonight. Been very dangerous. You can see this chance here from Elney. Just can't put it on frame, but he has a nose for goal. He has a nose for these attacking opportunities, and you can see why he's been such a big player for this RB2 side.
Had 2 goals in the second half a week ago in the previous home game for New York, so he's looking to get it done alongside a fellow New York Red Bull Academy player in Dantuma. Torre goes by Yaya. We mentioned him in the first half, has played with the U.S. Youth National teams, really came into New York in a weird way, was a guest player for New York Red Bulls in Salzburg, one player of the tournament, and now he's been one of the brightest spots around the academy for a while.
Absolutely. I feel like I've seen Yaya at the training facility more than a lot of my teammates. You know, he's always there. He's always at games, but he's always got a smile on his face, which is probably one of the best attributes that he has. He's hungry to learn, he's eager, but he just loves the game. He loves being at this club and having this opportunity, and you can tell he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's done some good things this season. 3 goals, 3 assists. Has shown his quality. Can he do it in the second half for this team? New York, they've created more of the chances. Can they get the breakthrough? Or will it be the Hartford Athletic claiming a spot on top of Group F in first place to close out the season? We've got a lot coming up for you in just a few moments here on ESPN+.
Visit USLSoccerShop.com this Friday through Monday to claim at least 20% off at participating clubs' online stores.
What a beauty! It's fantastic! Sensational! Fantastic! Any way you slice it. This one he puts away, fires and scores! What an unbelievable strike. Oh, what a goal!
There's the shot, it scores! Attacking, shooting, and scoring!
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Visit USLSoccerShop.com this Friday through Monday to claim at least 20% off at participating clubs' online stores.
The time of year we love the most. Playoff time coming up in the USL Championship. This is what these teams have worked all year for. And let's take a look at the standings. Every team has now clinched a spot in the USL Championship. Reno entering as the top team on points in the whole season. What an incredible game between St. Louis and Indy 11 going head-to-head for the final spot in their group to make the playoffs behind Louisville, and St. Louis coming away with that win. Wallfall getting the first goal for them. Some big results elsewhere around the league. FC Tulsa getting a win. El Paso getting a win earlier today to clinch first place ahead of New Mexico United. That is the Group F standing. So if Hartford can get 3 points here today, they will jump over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds for first place in Group F. Anything short of that, and they will be going on the road to open up postseason action, their first ever in the USL Championship, and that's what they wanted out of this season. As you take a look around El Paso, smoking Real Monarchs earlier today, a good Texas derby between Austin Bold and San Antonio. A strong season for Austin, even missing out on the playoffs, and San Antonio cruising in Group D, and Miami FC and Atlanta United too. They've been chasing all year Charleston and Tampa, and it won't be enough for them to catch up in the playoffs. As we take a look at the first half stats, and kind of what you'd expect to see. Hartford's had dangerous possession, but not a ton of it. They haven't really created chances in the final third.
Yeah, outside of the Dixon opportunity, a couple of rebounds on some corners, New York's had the better of chances. Hartford has pushed the game, obviously pretty even in possession, but New York's really had a lot of the better chances here in this half, and it's something to build off for this team. I think the big thing that sticks out to me is 0 goals and 0 goals. You know, I think that's something we don't see usually from this Rebel 2 side, so I think that's something to build on for the second half. And you know Hartford's going to be pushing to get those 3 points down the line.
Yeah, everything to play for them. Nothing to lose. So Hartford's going to have to open it up in this second half, which means more opportunities in transition for New York, which means good for us because we like goals and we like excitement, and we are going to have a lot of it coming up here in the second half. Some fans sneaking around. You see the banners behind the goal. Those Hartford fans on the second level under the Rampage, they are here for a reason. They want to see their team clinch first place in Group F. They've driven down for it. They've brought pizza as well, not for us, for other people, and they are looking forward to our second half. We'll have first half highlights and second half action coming up in just a moment here on ESPN+.
If you want to start something or make some noise, if you want to change the world or just how you see it, if you want to light up the dark or own the moment, if you want to stay ahead of the curve or take it right to the edge, there's nothing stopping you.
It's been a while since we shared those last moments at home, and a lot has changed. The world shut down. We found ourselves lost, but we found a way. Our heroes kept us in the game, and our community came together like never before. This beautiful game will continue to provide us the strength to keep moving forward.
Substitutes out on the field, warming up a little at halftime as we all take a little breather off what was a hectic but energetic first half. David Goss and Connor Lade with you on ESPN+. Let's take a look at those highlights. And as we said, it was a game of segments at first. Hartford had the opportunities, had the possession, and created some chances.
Yeah, great opportunity here. Drops out to Denny Barrera. Elney just gets his chest, it looks like, on the ball, but a dangerous moment to kick off this match for Hartford Athletic. And Elney does well to make his body big without exposing that hand and is able to block it.
And then Elney going back on the other end. Connor, this is more what he likes to do, getting that first start in 2 months and showing some danger.
Yeah, Elney does well to really off-center the defender. I think this is the play of the first half for me from Parfait Mandanda. I mean, what a big, strong hand to block this shot. Tough save. It skips right before and does well to parry it wide. And any other place, Boontang would have been there to put it away.
Elney continued to cause danger. This time looking up with some teammates on the top of the box and creating another dangerous shot.
Yeah, another good look there for Elney. He was very active in this first half. With the left foot there, just puts it a little bit wide, and Parfait, I believe, had it covered.
So Hartford thought they had a penalty in the opening 5 minutes, and again here as Alex Dixon goes down in the box.
Yeah, Alex Dixon did so well there. This touch right here I thought was really good, but just isn't able to get around and his body in front of Joe Fala. Didn't see and too much there to make it a pen for me, but I think it was a good call from the referee. And you can see Elney here driving, takes it a little bit wide, but is able to hook it back to LaCava, and LaCava just can't put it on frame. I think he'll want that one back, looking back on it. But another good moment for Red Bull 2, who had been the more dangerous side throughout as the second half has gone on.
And for New York, one final big opportunity in that first half. Mandanda, the huge save, a little bit of a mistake here, but recovered.
Yeah, Omar Sow picked his head up, confident on that left foot. Shot skips on the turf, really comes at Mandanda fast, spills it a little bit, but is able to get back on top of it to keep the deadlock square. So interesting times, a couple good highlights here, and second half should be very interesting.
So a look at our bracket, not finalized yet for the USL Championship in the Eastern Conference. If Hartford's able to win today, they will move down and play St. Louis as the home team to open the postseason. Otherwise, while you want to be in the playoffs, traveling to Louisville is a death sentence to open up your run, as Louisville, of course, 3 straight USL Championship appearances, 4 straight Eastern Conference Championship appearances, and 2 championships in that time as well. And it's going to be fun to watch a Charleston and Tampa team that really ran away with this group start to be challenged, because as we said in the first half, a year where teams, we normally see them match up 3 or 4 times, they haven't seen each other.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting in this playoff bracket. You know, teams, you build a lot through the year of playing each other. You get to see each other, but not playing teams. It's going to be a whole new animal this playoff. So it's
like Champions League.
Right, exactly.
It's like the biggest game of the year. You don't know them.
Exactly. That's a perfectly way to put it. I think that's going to be. Yeah, I mean, patting your back here, but I think it's going to be a big challenge, but something exciting. Not to play teams that these guys are probably sick of by now.
So we saw John Wolyniec there. We're talking to his assistant coach. Take me inside his halftime huddle. What is he focusing on for his team? How do they create chances against Hartford? What are they anticipating?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to build off in that first half. Obviously, keeping the clean sheet. I think he's thrilled. I could see Luca Lewis after the first half going up and giving pounds and daps to his teammates all over the field, because I think that was a great first half. But for them, just keeping aggressive, look for these transition moments when Hartford is going to have the ball a lot, but when you do take it off him, how aggressive can you be? You want Omar Sow looking up, finding Elney on the run, even him making runs himself, trying to find Jake LaCava and see if Torre can put the pieces together to make the final third something cohesive. But I think it's a lot to build off for the Red Bull 2 side.
And on the flip side, for Coach Shahidi, we said it doesn't matter what it looks like, they just need to win. How does he get his team to be more dangerous in the second half?
Yeah, I think you could see in the first half when they did turn over New York, there was opportunities, and they're going to be looking for those moments again. And like you mentioned, if there's any incentive they need is not to play Louisville on the road.
A special time of year. You can feel the cold. You can smell the leaves in the air. It means the USL Championship playoffs are coming up, and it has been phenomenal over the last few years with upsets, but the quality, when the game just ticks up that next level, that's when we really love to see the players shine. And we have seen so much talent across the USL Championship once again this year that we're excited to see on display. No changes for either team coming out of halftime, so 5 subs still available for both teams. We had heard rumors there might be a change in goal coming for New York at some point in this game, as Kieran Dalton, an academy player, on the bench behind Luca Lewis. We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that one, as So slips one in here for Elney. Gets by the defenders. A chance, and Mandanda saves it.
What a save from Mandanda here. He's really kept this Hartford side when he's been called upon, and Elney is unable to put that ball in net. Let's see the replay here. Great ball in from Omar So. Elney takes a great first touch and just tries to power it by Mandanda, and is unable to do so.
It's everything you wanted to see Elney do there. Takes that first touch, beats the defender. And you can see Parfait Mandanda there saying, I've done this before. I'm not new to this.
Absolutely, yeah. You could see Elney really compose himself after he did take that touch, realize he has a little time and space, and you just want him to maybe pick a corner, maybe low, but try to drive it high, which not.
Tolkien plays this one in. Cleared away at the near post. And these are the transition moments you talked about. Coming out at halftime, Dixon barreled over by Boontang, and the first yellow card of the game for a New York player. Will be picked up there by Samad Boontang.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst yellow in the world there. I think it's a pretty professional foul, if you will, from Boontang. Obviously, Alex Dixon, the danger man going forward, especially when he's on the ball with that speed. They had a chance with, maybe he could have played Everett Guzman a little bit earlier, but I like the play from Joey Zielinski there to push the line a little bit, realize that Guzman's trying to toe that line, which he's made a living off of doing. And nice, mature defensive move there from Joey Zielinski. Couldn't get caught doing it, but it paid off there in the long run.
Space there for Macias. Fala trying to save it from a corner kick. He does. It'll be a throw-in. And I really thought Zielinski was going to keep dropping there, and he made his play.
Absolutely, yeah. He took a peek up, saw Guzman. The only way he could really run was parallel with him, so he didn't really see him, the danger to really keep dropping. So a nice defensive move there from Zielinski.
Cross played into the far post. Lewis gets a hand to it. Alive still. Johnson puts it off the post. And the ball finally going over the end line. A huge moment there, though. Lewis, a quiet first half, had to make a big save.
Yeah, dangerous cross coming across the face of goal, and he put a palm on it. I think he'd want that probably parried a little bit closer because it did drop right to, I don't know if that was Johnson, but I think, dangerous moments there and a good moment for Hartford.
And Torre flying the other way, so this second half starting the way the first half closed. End-to-end action. These two sides both looking for 3 points in this one. Neither team will be satisfied with a draw for New York. They're playing for pride here. And for Hartford, all that they need, all that will do anything for them in the standings is a win here. Politz with the turnover. Up the field now, Johnson clips it into space for Guzman. Lewis is off his line. Guzman gets it by him, and Zielinski clears it away. The 16-year-old with the goal-saving clearance.
Huge play from Zielinski there to deny Ever Guzman with an opportunity. I mean, that was a huge play. You could see Joe Falla and him were on 2 different pages. Like I said, that holding the line, Joe Falla tried to hold it, didn't realize Zielinski was there, and Ever Guzman was in, but a great defensive recovery there from Zielinski.
And the ball over the top from Johnson, similar to what we saw from Pereira in the first half.
Absolutely, yeah. Johnson, I think, love to see him get up and down that line in the second half here because he's so dangerous for this team.
Macias turning in field. It's clattered, a strong tackle by Boontang, and then Lewis saves that one from crossing the end line.
That's something we haven't really seen in that first half. They had one opportunity where they did play behind, and so I'm sure Jaide's going to be looking to test this back line of New York maybe a little bit more with maybe some of these more direct plays, even though they do like to build out of the midfield and keep the ball, but we've seen in the past that Red Bull could get hurt when playing behind, so look to them to do so more here.
Lakava now in possession. Boontang pushing the line higher up for New York. Can't find Elney. Another dangerous turnover. Dixon's off and running. He's got black shirts surrounding him, looking for the feet of Guzman, and can't place his pass.
Yeah, Dixon just looking for Guzman there. Just wasn't able to pick him out, but one moment there, I think, for the 2 center backs, it's often uncomfortable, and for a young defender like Joey Zielinski, I think John, probably looking back on it, would want him up there pressing so they couldn't turn. Alex Dixon couldn't run and turn. So I think that's something, even though for young center backs and people learning the system like Joe Fall and Joey Zielinski, it's maybe uncomfortable at times, but they really do want you to spread, just not let these attackers pick up the ball, turn, and face you. Just get tight and try to sustain the attack there.
And this has been fun for us, but you got to think these coaches are pulling their hair out right now at the way this game's gone. And now Elney, he's got Torre off and running. Politz reads the danger, and he's able to recover.
What an opportunity there. I think Sebastian Elney just needed to take down his left foot, and if he just slips it right to Torre, he's in on goal.
But the gaps, as you said, existing for both these teams right now as Barrera shows off his quality. And this one gets blasted over the head of everyone into the feet of Lewis. Luka Lewis, a 19-year-old out of New York City, hadn't trained with a soccer team since February. Was with Torino in Serie A, playing with their U19s. Serie A closing things down earlier than the United States for COVID-19. Lewis coming home and now getting to be back on the field, and now he'll be tested by Dixon. He makes the save.
Wow. Incredible save there from Luka Lewis, and really the danger man, Alex Dixon, yet again with an opportunity. It's exactly what we were talking about earlier. There was a turnover. Alex Dixon, wow, caught him leaning, and what a save. Wow, that didn't initially see that, but just got a strong arm on him, even though he was leaning the other way. But another dangerous opportunity from Hartford, and they're getting some a little bit more opportunities here.
Best look of the game there for Hartford. Now the corner played in. Headed away initially by Lakava. Recovered by Guzman. Curled in. A chance here in the box. And a foul will go against one of Strong or
Hack. Really, that play started with an incredible tackle from Cohen on the sideline. He sensed the danger, was aggressive in his defending, got over his slide tackle, and didn't even look up. He knew Dixon was there in between Fala and Zielinski and just put it right in his path. Perfect ball and great opportunity there.
So we asked what these two teams needed to do coming out of halftime to get a goal. They've done everything you've asked. They still can't score. Maybe because these two goalkeepers are both playing lights out.
Absolutely, something great to see. As even though we do like goals, we like seeing goalkeepers do well. And Luca Lewis and Mandanda have been absolutely incredible tonight.
Lewis taking over in goal. If you look at most of the season, it was Wallace Lapsley in goal and Alex Babocha on the bench or playing in his place. Neither of them are even on the roster now to show kind of how chaotic this year's been for New York Red Bulls too, and the rest of the globe. As a free kick comes here for New York. It was Torre to earn that foul. And now Tolkien and Hott standing over this one. They've taken most of the set pieces in this game. Omar Sow with one as well. Options in the box. The big bodies in Fala and Sow and Elney. Driven in. Mandanda comes out and takes that one right in front of Fala. And Mandanda immediately looking for the punt. And an interesting moment here as Omar Sow gets a yellow card. And for anyone watching who has watched SportsCenter or the BBC over the last 4 days, you'll know that Danny Barrera for Hartford blocked a throw out of the hands of the Philadelphia Union 2 goalkeeper on Wednesday that went directly into the goal for a goal legally given, and now Omar Sow blocks a punt and a yellow card.
I mean, I'm laughing for two reasons. One, the Danny Barrera goal. Second, Mandanda having an assist in that first game with these two met this year. And I think Omar Sow realized that. He's like, it was a danger moment with Mandanda in his hands, the ball in his hands. Ever Guzman was licking his lips because he knew that it was 1v1 in the back, and he was looking to recreate some magic there from the first meeting. And Omar Sow did what he thought he had to do and take a yellow card.
And we talked about how do you improve over the course of the year. The recognition from Sow, he saw it once about 3.5 months ago, as you said. Mandanda, similar there, caught it on the run and played the punt as Elney wins this one back. So now in a battle with Lara, and Lara pushes that one wide, and Omar Sow happy to take that yellow card to avoid the goal-scoring chance.
It's not always you see a midfielder, forward, whatever Omar Sow is, jump in front of a goalie's way on a punt, but history can be a funny thing, and that still is fresh in his mind.
And that Barrera goal midweek, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that. The skill from Barrera, the touch, incredible. Was it legal has been debated.
Right.
I'm talking to a few referees this week. They've all said that they believe the intent from him was to move away. And if the goalkeeper chooses to throw it early, he doesn't have to be 6 yards away. He can make his body bigger as long as he doesn't step forward, which I think you saw from Omar Sow, was to jump forward into the path of Mandanda on that play. But, oh, what a fickle game this can be.
I mean, yeah, clearly two different instances there. And I love some of the pregame notes where Danny Barrera talking about, I think he does crazy stuff at training like that, and Scorpion kicks diapers from his kids into the garbage. So I'm sure that one felt a little bit better than kicking a diaper. But, yeah, definitely an interesting moment, one that we are all interested to see, and I'm sure it'll be played for a long time in the highlights.
As you hear the drums grow, the supporters groups for Hartford as well as New York Red Bulls too, the Rampage, who have become accustomed to that top floor of the parking structure over the last few weeks. Space here for Barrera to try and get those fans cheering. He's got an opportunity here. Lewis saves it down. Another chance. Lewis makes another save, and Fala clears it.
Wow. Danny Barrera with a great opportunity there. Beats a couple defenders with a couple head fakes. You can see, gets loose on that left foot, just hits it right at Luca Lewis. who has a little bit of an unconventional save there, puts it right back to the feed. I don't know if that's Ever Guzman, I believe. Oh, no. And then they just get another opportunity there, and wow, puts another great save.
Torre trying to make things happen back the other way. This is the way soccer should always be played. Let's get rid of ties. You have to win. Play to win the game. Herman Edwards.
I love that.
Here at MSU Soccer Park. It has been a fun one. Amazingly, it's 0-0. I think we've seen a few of the saves of the week, if not the year, between these two goalkeepers. You could say the two biggest mistakes they've made, both Montana and Lewis dropping a ball, have led to two of the best saves of the game that they've made in recovery. And now another free kick here. Does that mean a goal-scoring chance for Parfait Donda or New York? Fala at 6'7" in the box, Elney at 6'2", and Omar Sow at 6'1". All options, as well as Jake LaCava. So Wolenek, Coach Wolenek just behind Tolkien as he serves it in and hits it too low. Not an opportunity for anyone to get on the end of that one. And now Hott comes in field into the feet of Fala. And Fala with a dangerous turnover. Fortunate to see it right back to his feet. And now Torre in a foot race with Politz. Gets there first. Politz with the block. What a block there from Politz on the run and out for a throw-in.
Yeah, great defensive play there from Kevin Politz. Realized the danger with Torre streaking down the line and about to whip in a ball, and does very well defensively.
Where will the breakthrough come from for these two sides? Chances galore between the two of them, and yet to see a goal so far in this one seems to be only a matter of time. Elney 1v1 with Lara. Elney trying to get to his right foot, pulls it back, deflects off Johnson, and it'll finally be cleared out for a New York throw-in. A must-win game here for Hartford. They have looked dangerous here in transition. Can Dixon finally find the back of the net here? 1v1 with Zielinski. Black shirts all around him. Omar Sow pulls him down. No call made as Sow is sitting on a yellow card. And that was a huge moment in this one.
Wow. Big moment there. Alex Dixon looked like he drew the foul there on Omar Sow. He made such a good run, picking the ball up just on the other side of midfield, and looked like he was trying to find the feet of Ever Guzman, but just decided to take it himself. Looked like he was lining up to take a shot with his right foot and just seemed to maybe get pulled. I'm not sure, but good opportunity there from Hartford, and just shows why he's so dangerous, and here he goes again.
Can Dixon do it here? Zielinski with another tackle. The 16-year-old of the Red Bull Academy, Joey Zielinski, maybe his best performance of the year here on the final night. This ball served into a dangerous area. Guzman goes sliding. And Sean Lyons keeps his whistle down. A chance for Hartford to pour it on here. Strong serves it in. Fala heads it out. Another chance for Strong. He's got bodies in the box. Fala with the header straight up in the air. Boontong misses the second chance. And the deflection off Barrera, the way his week has gone, almost finding the back of the net.
Wow. Hartford definitely on the front foot here. It'll give you a minute to relax there, but what a moment. Kicked off with such a good, dangerous ball from Johnson in there. Almost finds Ever Guzman, who is just streaking to that back post just a little bit past him. And
Boontong slides it into the path of Torre.
Really crazy moments ensued, and Luca Lewis again up to the task.
Now Tolkien steps in. So into the feet of Hott. New York now a chance to try and put a little pressure on Hartford. And the big clearance once again from Kevin Politz.
David, this feels like a playoff game.
Yeah. I was going to ask you in the first half, because you've played in games where, for Supporter Shield on the final day, I'll ask you in just a moment, this one sneaks through to Dixon. Dixon now flying forward. Can he find the right target? He blasts this one over everyone and out.
Unlucky there from Dixon, just couldn't find the right ball across. But it feels like a playoff game. I don't know if it's the weather.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but two teams who look totally committed to playing their style and really giving it their all to get a result here. It just, you can't even explain it. It's in the air. Playoffs are in the air, and it will be good for Hartford Athletic to get one of these games in before the actual playoffs begin. And for Red Bull 2, I think it's exciting to play in a game like this to end the year. So great moment all around here tonight.
Cohen here with a little bit of space. Now Dixon. Cohen floats this one into the far post, and Lewis goes up and takes it. Fans, if you're on the road and you can't watch the match, turn on SiriusXM FC, North America's only 24/7 source on soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, and Rodney Marsh. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League, all on SiriusXM FC, channel 157. And, of course, the USL Championship playoffs coming up. You can watch every game on the ESPN family networks and listen to the big ones on Sirius as Guzman gets a shot away. Johnson lurking, and he puts it in for the lead. Tyreek Johnson gets himself up the field, floating on that back post. And time and again, we've seen saves, and finally, Johnson with the breakthrough.
David, this is a beautiful, beautiful goal from Hartford Athletic here. Alex Dixon, what an incredible move. I think we would like to rewind that, but Ever Guzman just puts it on a platter for Johnson there. You can see Alex Dixon, what a move he puts on John Tolkien there and just lays it off. You see maybe a little bit too far for Ever Guzman to get a shot on goal, but he just whips an absolute beauty across the face of goal that nothing Luca Lewis can do about it. Johnson just aggressive to get on the end of it, and there you go, 1-0 Hartford.
And for the less educated like me, I thought it was a wasted shot from Guzman, but he targeted Johnson there, and for Johnson to make that run from left wing back to be alongside Guzman has shown what we've seen all second half, his determination, his ability to read the game.
You can see it's almost like it's a blind ball, shot, cross, whatever you want, just put it across the frame of goal, and it's going to be a dangerous opportunity. You can see the connection that these attackers have with their wing backs, and definitely a great moment there for Hartford to get the 1-0 lead.
So on the stoppage there, Sharif J checking in, the rookie at the University of Louisville in place of Dantuma Torre. So the 16-year-old's first year in professional soccer done. 3 goals, 3 assists for Torre. And we talked about him at halftime. A lot of bright spots, a lot to improve on, but you can see the base of the professional level is there for him already. And as a 16-year-old, you expect he'd only get better.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you're Dantuma Torre looking at this year, probably not a lot of expectations, just see how it would go. And I think if looking back on it now, I think he could be very happy with what he did on the field. Obviously, like you mentioned, a lot to clean up, but for a 16-year-old, 3 goals, 3 assists, I think that's a heck of a year for him and a lot to be proud of.
So, as his through ball intercepted by Politz. Maybe with the goal, Tyree Johnson's move ahead, or Mandanda with his saves, but Kevin Politz has to be in the conversation for man of the match right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Kevin Politz has been a rock defensively. You can see he's been talking a lot in this group, making sure they're cohesive defensively, and has really extinguished a lot of attacks.
Dixon off and running. Fala did enough to hold him up. As Johnson now pushing forward once again right now. He is sitting on the goal to give his team first place in the standings on the final night in Group F. And what a move there. Macias with the ball to the far post. And Guzman just couldn't get his foot around it.
Wow, what a ball from Macias there. Great job to be aggressive, beats a man, whips in just a striker's dream ball there for Ever Guzman, and something you don't see a lot from a striker of his quality is a little bit of a mistake, and I think that's a big moment in this match and one Ever Guzman would like to have back.
And Guzman with the assist, but that's the chance he's been waiting for all game. The ghost in on that far post, just one touch to get a goal as Elney goes down behind the play. Now Boontang takes a ball to the stomach. That's what we'll call that area.
Yeah, we heard that. That didn't sound great to the stomach.
And right now it looks like New York Red Bulls 2 are getting ready to make the change in goal, as Kieran Dalton is going to make his professional soccer debut. Our understanding this was predetermined for New York, but if you're Luca Lewis, the game you've had, and now to have to go out on that one goal, it's got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think it's going to sting a little bit for Luca Lewis. I think he's looking right now. I think he sent John Tolkien to run over there. I don't know what it was for, but I don't know if it was just to dissuade John Welenek from subbing him out. But, yeah, I think it's going to be tough because he really stood on his head tonight. And, again, the goal really couldn't do much about. I think that's he really had a top performance tonight for this Red Bull 2 team.
It looks like Edgardo Rito is getting ready to come on as well, the Venezuelan fullback. The Bronze Bonanza boys going off in the background. So we'll see what this group of changes means for New York Red Bulls 2. And you came into the second half and we talked about it. Hartford needs a goal because it was must win, which would give gaps for New York on the counter. Now Hartford takes the lead. How does this game play out? What is it that New York can do to try and get back into it?
Yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see how both Cohen and Johnson do here, if they're going to be a little bit more defensive and stay within that block of 3 already central defenders. But New York's just going to have to go after it like they've been doing really all game. I think you don't change a whole lot. You've had opportunities. You know that you're going to get more. You just have to do more with them. And I think we'll see some more attacking options come on here. Obviously, Sharif J is going to be a big addition. It's a dynamic winger who can bring a lot to a game and create a ton of chances. So they're going to look to get him on the ball, look to find Jake Lakava in space, and really take advantage of any opportunities that Hartford gives them.
So Boontong back on the field, forced into a foul immediately. Edgardo Rito as well. Bo Cummins, a strong game for Academy kid, but doesn't bring the same oomph going forward as you'd expect. That'll be the sub. Rito can be an outlet for New York.
Yeah, I think Bo Cummins had a pretty good performance tonight, pretty quiet. I think he did what was asked of him, which is a lot with Johnson running down the wing, but I think that's another thing that Rito will bring to this game, that attacking flair, that attacking mentality, and that's going to pin Johnson back as well if he's not already going to do so within the game plan.
So Derek Korf, Edgardo Rito, and Kieran Dalton. Dalton making his professional soccer debut here for the final 20 minutes of the 2020 USL Championship regular season. A big moment for that young man to go into goal, and hats off to Luca Lewis. Hadn't played a competitive soccer game in about 6.5 months and has come in over the last 3 games and has stood on his head for New York Red Bulls too. So it'll be Lewis and Lakava, as well as Cummins to come off for New York. They have made 4 of their 5 potential substitutions. And Sharif J trying to start the counter attack. Korf looking to run onto this one, and now Fala will chase it back for New York. This is the type of game that Derek Korf's been useful for you. He's the one player who can break down a set defense if Hartford chooses to start to leave some numbers back to try and protect the lead.
Absolutely, yeah. This is going to be a big game for Derek Korf. Obviously, if you asked him, probably this isn't the way that he saw the year going. Had a lot of big moments, dealt with a couple injuries, and kind of learning a new system, a new style. And I think it's big for him to show what he can do in these moments against a team like this. What else can you ask for, really? I think he's a perfect player for these moments. Like you mentioned, be able to break down a deeper block with his quality and his skills. It's exactly what you ask for in a game like this.
So Connor McGlynn coming on for Aiden Macias, McGlynn's brother. Jake with 2 goals just a week ago on this field for Philadelphia Union 2. So now his chance to try and put on a show. And don't forget, you can be a part of the conversation and watch the drama unfold live when the USL Championship playoffs begin October 9th on ESPN Plus. Every game, every goal And this Hartford team's hoping to start it off at home if they can see this game out. 3 points means first in Group F. It means hosting their opening playoff game in the first round. A loss means they are headed to Louisville to open up the postseason. And Lynn Family Stadium going to host their first ever postseason match. Louisville has been the center of the USL Championship every year in the playoffs, but some brand new digs this year.
Sure, they're very excited to show that off.
It's been cool to see it go up pretty quickly.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not able to pack it the way they'd like, but we all know one day it will happen.
Yeah, you could see what that goal meant to this Hartford side as well. I think half the bench was already down to the corner. The guys warming up in the corner ran across goal. It means a lot.
Johnson there takes it off the foot of Rito. Boontong trying to close him down. Tyreek Johnson. Huge game as McLean unloads one.
Wow.
About a week ago, his brother may have scored the goal of the year from outside the box here at MSU Soccer Park, and his older brother may have just one-upped him and sealed a spot at the top of Group F for the Hartford Athletic.
What a bomb from McGlynn. And it's like Groundhog Day here, I think, with the McGlynn family. Something in the air here. They score bombs on this field. You see Johnson with the trickery. And McGlynn really just put his entire body through that. Looked up, had the confidence, and just hit an absolute knuckleball past Kieran Dalton. Wow.
Welcome to the show,
Yeah.
Kieran Dalton. The young man making his debut. You see Jaidi running in there,
Yeah.
the head coach. He knows what it means. It means Hartford Athletic, a hard-fought first half. Parfait Mandanda had to stand on his head to keep his team in it. And here in the second half, Hartford has shown why they have been the class of Group F with that one bit of quality to get them over the line. And now they've got 15 minutes to try and hold on to a 2-goal lead.
Take a bow, Connor McGlynn. What a moment for this team in this type of game. Really take a little bit of that pressure off. 2 goals up with 15+ minutes to go. And yeah, like you said, Jaidi in the middle of that pile because he knows how much it means to this club. These fans that came here today, and really how much it means for them and their season.
So Edon Cohen still on the field, but will be subbed in just a moment as Hartford has their subs up. I think that may have been McGlynn's first touch of the game.
I'm pretty sure you're right, yeah. You barely got his name out of your mouth calling the substitution.
What a moment for him. And as you said, the McGlynn family, originally from Queens. Their father, the head of the Gotchi Academy, one of the premier soccer groups in the New York area. As we said, Jack playing with Philadelphia Union 2, signed a homegrown deal that will kick in January 1st. And Connor, the older brother coming out of college, a rookie here with Hartford.
What an older brother move.
To just one up.
Can't be outdone by his younger brother.
And we have seen some wild brother moments as Omar Sow and Sharif J now showing a little bit of passion in this one. The drums behind it, you said it. The smell, the lights. The way this game's played out, it was a playoff game, and what we've seen all year for New York has been a mistake here or there in big moments. Not a mistake really today. It was just the quality of Hartford so far to put them ahead.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing you can sit back and when you give up goals, you want to be beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been beaten here tonight with the goals. And I think that's something that it wasn't self-inflicted. Are there little things along the way that could have changed it? Sure. But the end result, there's not much they could have done about those goals. And Hartford just really just took the most of those chances and what chances they were for them. I mean, they've been another class the second half.
So Arthur Rogers coming on, 23-year-old out of London, went to college here in the U.S., as well as Dre Diaz, who has been their go-to option off the bench late in games to push the back line, to challenge things, to press a little bit, and got 15 minutes left. Coach Wolonek, as we said, rare occurrence for him. In 5 years as a head coach, has never missed the postseason, made 3 USL Eastern Conference Championships, won one title as well in 2016. This is a different opportunity, but you see him talking to that young back line about their responsibilities.
Yeah, I think you think about this year, yeah, they've hurt themselves. They've given up a lot of goals. They didn't make the playoffs, and you can see the tempers are starting to flare here for New York. They're all competitors out there. This is frustrating for them. This is uncharted territory. You don't know how to really react in this moment. You've got a lot of young kids out there, so it's an interesting time. You can see John talking with Joey Zielinski and Joe Falla there. I think a lot has been put on their plate as young players, and you can grow from moments like this, but in the moment it hurts for sure.
And a round of applause for Alex Dixon going off during that stoppage. You highlighted him at the start, and he was the entire attack for most of this game for Hartford, playing in transition, linking between the back line and Guzman and just making things happen.
Absolutely, yeah. Alex Dixon, top performance tonight. I think had a ton of chances to get a goal of his own, but I think he'll sit back and be comfortable with what he showed on the field and be excited for what's to come in the playoffs.
So Rito to throw this one in for Pittsburgh fans out there tuned in. And hi, Coach Lilly. All they need is a tie, so they need 2 New York goals to drop Hartford from first to second in Group F. Where Hartford, a tie or a loss sends them into second place, but they are leading 2-0 right now as we enter the final 10 minutes of the USL Championship regular season. Maybe a season we didn't think we'd see. The USL as a league has gotten through it. The many challenges 2020 has thrown at us. And the playoffs will start in 5 days to close out the 2020 season. It's amazing we've reached this point. It's amazing it's October.
It's wild. This year seems like it's flown by and it's crawled at times. So it's
absolutely
wild times.
We've had fun doing these games, and we look forward to doing them in the future. As we've said a few times, but you'd expect to see a lot of these Red Bull 2 players come back next year, which is very rare for New York because most of them are academy kids, and some committed to go to college and things like that. But it'll be interesting to see this group going forward.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what the next couple of months hold in store for this team. Obviously, like you mentioned, some of these young players going to college, maybe signing professional contracts. A lot's yet to be seen. But I think as much as it's going to be a similar look to things maybe next year, but I think there's going to be a lot of new faces, and there's going to be some change as well, because after all, when you come down to the nitty-gritty, you want results.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's going to be a lot of growth for these players, and maybe some of them weren't necessarily in the plans to be relied upon this greatly, but you know that you can rely on a lot of these guys to play major minutes. So it's exciting, disappointed in the moment, but exciting overall.
And if you want to be a part of the future of the USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of their first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off in spring of 2021. For more information, visit usl.com/academy or search #USL Academy on social media. So we enter the final 10 minutes of the season. Hartford right now, this win, it's looking like job done for them. Can they hang on? Korf rolls it into the feet of Jay. Sharif Jay down the line for Rito. The Venezuelan off the bench, another strong season for him. Returning from that broken ankle that ended his 2019 season. Showed the quality that New York was so excited about. Boontong now, pressured, gets it to Rito. Back to Boontong. The line here for So running onto it, and Politz once again is the man to close things down.
Seems to be ever cleaning up everything behind his defenders tonight. He's really had a great performance, I'm sure. And again, we've seen him 3 times this year, but a moment that he's in a game that he's always marking on his calendar, coming back and playing the Red Bull too. Big tackle.
Crunching tackle there from Jay. And Tyreek Johnson right now sitting on the game-winning goal. Goes down in a heap as Jay is shown a yellow card, and we said it early on. These teams have had some great matchups this year. It's always been tight. It has been contentious. We're seeing that once again here, and that's what helps make a rivalry.
Absolutely, yeah. There's only one way to create a rivalry, and that's tackles like that and moments like this. You can see we talked about Hartford hoping to get out of these games unscathed without injuries, and a mature moment there from Johnson to roll back onto the field. So
he was off the field.
Some gamesmanship. I just need to roll over to get the stretch here because this is the right spot to do it. So
stops play as the clock continues to run here. Tyreek Johnson showing a little bit of that pedigree here on the end. And one of the things that's cool is we talked about the USL Academy structure is as Hartford, as they grow as a club and grow the academy, already signing one teenager out of Connecticut, you'll start to have players who grew up playing against each other. And we see it with Philly and New York and Loudoun with New York, but players who know each other. Maybe have had some battles over the years. That's going to be a cool element that Hartford now can represent Connecticut like we've never seen before.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's such great clubs in Connecticut and really up throughout the Northeast, and you see with the more teams coming up and popping into the league, it's exciting, and it only is going to create more rivalries, better opportunities for players, local players, to play in their home markets. What else could you ask for?
And Ben Mines, of course, a Connecticut native who's scored some goals for New York Red Bulls, too, in his time, as well as New York Red Bulls. And Hartford now just in year 2, so it'll take a little time to grow the full structure, but they hope to be able to keep some of those great Connecticut players in their home state. Tyreek Johnson allowed back on the field. Did a good job. Ticking away about 2 minutes there. We'll see how our head official, Sean Lyons, brings it back, but really killed the energy as you felt it was still growing. There was still some pace to the game, and 2 minutes took the drums away, kind of relaxed things a little.
Absolutely, yeah. Johnson knew what he was doing there. He's been around. He knows how to kill off a game, and so that's another example for even these young Red Bull 2 players to maybe learn from. When you are up in a game, this is how you take the air out of it. This is how you maybe build a little frustration in your opponent. So fair play to him.
There's a few CONCACAF legends we could bring in to do a workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Or two.
It's an art, and they've perfected it.
Did you play with anyone as a teammate who was a high-level dark artist?
I mean, I feel like you just see a guy like Thierry who would just come back and something sticks out to me. He'd just find the ball wherever on the field and just stand on it and dare people to take it off him. So that's something that sticks out to me is like, come here, you want to win this game, you're going to have to take the ball off me and go do so. So that's someone for me that sticks out and a master of killing the game off.
My favorite was 3 minutes into a game, Henri, every time a goalie touched the ball, counting to 6.
Oh,
no matter what.
That was a staple. Yeah, that one was a staple in his repertoire and something that was used many, many times.
So Johnson can fully fit again, and right now his goal, standing up as the game winner for what is going to be a historic moment in the Hartford Athletics. Short history, but will stand for the entire time in this club's record books. What a turnaround this has been. This Hartford Athletic side in just their second year. And only trying to take this quickly. Can New York throw a wrench in the final moments for Hartford? Rito drives this across. Headed away. So brings it down. Out wide for Tolkien. New York hasn't had that final touch so far tonight. They've created a bunch of chances. They haven't been able to either get that final ball in a clean spot, and then we've seen some incredible saves from Mandanda.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been, I'm sure this is going to be a little frustrating for Red Bull 2 at the end of this night, and Hartford Athletic will be elated, but for Red Bull 2, I think for large parts of this game, we're the better team, and definitely in the end of the first half. So the fact that you didn't capitalize on your opportunity is going to hurt, and obviously how kind of this whole season, 2020, has really happened. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow for them, but Hartford, on the other side of things, is going to be elated.
So Sergeant Goma will come on here in place of Elney. So Elney will hand off the captain's armband. A good return to the starting lineup for Elney, showing the things that he brings to the game.
Great performance there from Elney, yeah. Definitely getting back into things. I'm sure he's thrilled to be getting another game before the year wraps up. And you can see him hugging his teammates. Brings a lot of leadership into that locker room, and it was big to get them back, big to get him back on this field tonight.
And we talked about the teenager Alfonso Vasquez, the all-time leading scorer in Connecticut high school history, coming on the field. And it looks like the last substitution for this one will be Gabriel Torres coming on in place of Tyreek Johnson, who gets the round of applause he deserved. I think both the quality, but then finally the goal, probably stands up as man of the match.
Absolutely, yeah. No, Tyreek Johnson had an incredible match. We touched on him at the top of the game that he was going to be a big part of what was going to be looking like success for this team, and at the end of the game, he did absolutely that. And so he's going to be a major factor if Hartford Athletic wants to do a good run in this postseason. A lot of it's going to go through him, and he's had a great performance here tonight.
And we've talked about the turnaround a little bit. Hartford Athletics 17th in the Eastern Conference last year. In 34 games, they had 29 points. This year in a shortened season, 16 games, looks like they're going to end on 35 points. So in half the games, they are going to have more points than they did all of last year. You cannot say enough about the job that's been done by Jaidi as well as this front office staff for Hartford. Korf serves this one in at the near post. Mandanda with the save, Bootong with the shot, and it goes just wide.
Wow, great opportunity for Red Bull 2. Good save by Mandanda to deny this opportunity from Korf. It looks like Korf is just shooting at that near post, hopefully to pick out Sharif J. Falls to Bootong, and Bootong just can't put it on frame, but another great save from Mandanda, who, you know, if Johnson wasn't man of the match, he could also throw his name in the ring there. He's had incredible saves here tonight.
Some great performances, some end-to-end action. Hartford, good stretch to start the game of possession that New York poured some chances on. The final 20 minutes of the first half was end-to-end stuff, and we picked up in the exact same place in the second half. An open game, two teams that were only looking for 3 points, creating chances, back and forth action, and then finally Tyreek Johnson broke through in the 65th minute with the opener. And then Connor McGlynn with maybe the goal of the year to beat his brother, who maybe had the goal of the year a week ago on this field, to put it at 2-0 and really give this Hartford side breathing space and allow their supporters to get the drums rolling. Jay curls that shot off the post.
Wow, what a shot there from Sharif J. Just as you talk about breathing, when Red Bull 2 coming back in this game is trying to suffocate some of that out of it, and Sharif J with a curler that had beaten Mandanda, and it just hits off the post and can't find the back of the net. But another good look there from Red Bull 2, who has a never say die attitude now. There's a few minutes left for them to give it everything they have to close out this season.
And Jay's played with a chip on his shoulder since he's come on the field off the bench. A yellow card already, and he would have loved to see that one curl into the back of the net.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely has a chip on his shoulder, like you mentioned. I think for him, similar to Derek Korf, he wants to play, you know, and there's been times that he's been in starting games and, you know, sometimes he's out on the bench like tonight. And so he's trying to prove to this coaching staff, to really this club, what he can bring to a game, and another good moment for him.
Some players playing here these final few moments, maybe for their job with New York Red Bulls or New York Red Bulls 2 next year. For Hartford, they are playing to set themselves up for the week to come. And right now, it is the result they wanted. It's knocked away. If things hold, Hartford Athletic will be hosting St. Louis FC in the opening round of the playoffs coming up in a week. And the Pittsburgh Riverhounds will be traveling to Louisville as Derek Korf serves this one in. Headed on, still alive. Jay cuts it back again. Finally puts his laces through it, but too high for anyone to get on the end of.
Shows his quality again there, receiving that ball. Cuts once, cuts twice. He's able to unbalance the defender and hold his hand up at the end of it because he knows he's not happy with the end result there. Kind of in two minds. Was that a shot? Was that a hard whip ball across the box? But not thrilled at the end of it, but good play to build that up.
Fans getting ready for the playoffs. Don't forget, Pittsburgh went to Lynn Family Stadium and ruined the opener for Louisville of their new building a few months ago. And now they will go in for the first ever playoff game there, which is exactly where Bob Lilly's side loves to be, with everyone questioning them and sitting behind the 8 ball. That's when they've done some of their best work. And we'll see if Pittsburgh can get over that playoff hump, get over Louisville, and change the Eastern Conference. As Torres in no rush to take this one. Tyreek Johnson, his second goal of the year. And we said it with Ever Guzman. He was brought here to bring goals they didn't have last year. 5 goals on the year with 2 assists, and his movement, his threat constantly creates chances for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. As defenders, that's a guy that always sticks out to you. You know, going into a game, you always have to be cognizant of where he is because he's always looking to play in your shadow, you know, behind your back, toeing the line there. And so it's a difficult job, especially for, you know, a forward in college like Joe Fala, who's learning the center back position, and a young defender like Joey Zielinski. So for the most part, they did pretty well with Ever Guzman here tonight. Like we mentioned, Red Bull 2 has been beaten on a couple incredible goals from Hartford, and hats off to them. But for the most part, did pretty well here tonight.
An incredible game, quality, energy. As Connor said a few times, it's felt like a playoff game. It was a perfect way to close out the season here at MSU Soccer Park. So that is the final whistle on the 2020 USL Championship regular season, and it's the score line that Hartford fans wanted to see. The Hartford Athletic get the win with 3 points. They clinch first place in Group F, and in a week they will host their first playoff game in club history, thanks to the goal by Tyreek Johnson in the 65th minute. History made for the Hartford Athletic. History made in a negative way for New York Red Bulls too, as they won't make the postseason for the first time in their franchise's history. A lot to digest. Incredible action here at MSU Soccer Park. We'll be back in just a moment for the post-game coverage here on ESPN+.
Eagle, go. Ecom, go. FIL, go. Go. GPS, go. 15 seconds. Guidance, switch to internal.
Come on, hurry up. All systems go.
5, 4, 3.
Audi e-tron, the next frontier of electric.
It's been a while since we shared those last moments at home, and a lot has changed. The world shut down. We found ourselves lost, but we found a way. Our heroes kept us in the game, and our community came together like never before. This beautiful game will continue to provide us the strength to keep moving forward.
So the Hartford fans that drove the long trip down for the game, something to celebrate. You see what it means to this team, Connor. Final thoughts?
Yeah, 2 stories for 2 different teams. Elation for Hartford winning the group. Excited to see what they'll do in the playoffs. And for Rebel 2, obviously disappointed on the year, but a lot of lessons learned for young players, and they'll be interested to see how their career trajectories go.
And for myself and Connor, so glad we had a season. So glad you were with us to watch throughout the season. And, of course, big thanks going out to Steve and Patty Fastook, our fearless leaders in the truck. So great to see Steve back for another year healthy. And congratulations to Janset Rogalski, who is getting a new position full-time with the New York Red Bulls. And, of course, thank you to Rich Kaufman, who he's got Hollywood Connor Lade flying off for vacations. He still gets it done week in and week out. It is always a pleasure. Some of the best young players in the country on display, and maybe the best team in the USL Championship in the Hartford Athletic. It's all coming up over the next few weeks as the postseason begins on ESPN. And for myself, David, and Connor Lade, have a great night.
Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer